morning everyone, I'm Mike Joseph Martin, HRA 3-1. I'm here to discuss and explain about the 5 Republic Act Code. The first is Republic Act number 7356, an act creating the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, establishing a National Endowment Fund for Culture and the Arts. And for other purposes, this act shall be known as the law creating the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Culture is a manifestation of the freedom of belief and of expression, and it's a human right to be accorded due respect and allowed to flourish. Culture reflects and shapes values, beliefs, aspirations, thereby defining a people's national identity. A Filipino national culture that mirrors and shapes Philippines' economic, social, and political life shall be involved, promoted, and conserved. The Filipino national culture shall be independent, free of political and economic structures which inhabit cultural sovereignty. Equitable, effectively creating and disturbing cultural marginalized sector who have the least opportunities for cultural development and educational, economic, and political changes both in national and international levels. Progressive, developing the vast potential of Filipinos as responsible change agents of society, and humanistic, ensuring the freedom and creativity of the human spirits. The Filipino national culture shall be evolved and developed by the people themselves in a climate of freedom and responsibility. National culture policies and programs shall be formulated which shall be pluralistic, democratic, non-partisan, and liberative. National culture policies and programs shall be formulated which shall be a pluralistic, fostering deep respect for the culture identity of each locality, region of ethno-linguistic locality, as well as elements assimilated from other cultures through the natural process of acculturation. Democratic, encouraging and supporting the participation of the vast masses of our people in its programs and projects. Non-partisan, open to all people and institutions regardless of creed, affiliation, ideology, ethnic origin, age, gender, or class, with no organized declaration and emancipation of the people's side in order to ensure the full flowering of Filipino culture. The creation of artistic and cultural products shall be promoted and disseminated to the greatest number of our people. The level of consciousness of our people about our own culture values in order to strengthen our culture and to instill nationhood and cultural unity shall be raised formally through the educational system and informally through extra scholastic means, including use to traditional as well as modern media of communication. It is the duty of every citizen to preserve and conserve the Filipino historical and cultural heritage and resources. The retrieval and conservation of artifacts of Filipino culture and history shall be vigorously pursued. And this is the example scenario of the Republic Act number 7356.
This is Manila, one of the oldest and most densely populated cities in the world. A melting pot of Asian and Latin cultures, a place where the divide between rich and poor is conspicuous. But decades ago, Manila was called the Pearl of the Orient. The Manila Metropolitan Theater was once a testament to the city's grandeur. It was a staging ground for artists from all over the world who wanted to perform in the Far East. But decades later, the theater has become a symbol of Manila's decay. Now the Philippine government is changing that.
What will make this theater different is people will come here not only because of the shows, but because of the building.
The battle for Manila between the joint Filipino and American forces and the Japanese Imperial Army in 1945 caused the loss of more than 100,000 lives and destroyed much of the city.
Okay, the Second Republic Act number is Republic Act number 1478, an act to create a Board of Travel and Tourist Industry defining its powers, duty, and responsibilities and for other purposes. There is a hereby created a Board of Travel and Tourist Industry of regulate international travel and tourism with a view to the development of a prosperous Philippines tourist and industry. The board shall be composed of the Secretary of Commerce as chairman and the Undersecretaries of Foreign Affairs, Finance, Justice and Republic Works and Communications, the President of the Philippines Chamber of Commerce, and the President of the Philippines Tourist and Travel Association as members. The board shall regulate travel agency business, prescribing the necessary rules to be governing their establishment and operation. It shall fix and collect an annual license fee from everybody. Individual or group engaged in the travel agency business is an amount not in excess of 100 pesos a year. No individual or firm shall engage in the travel agency business without being licensed by the Board of Travel and Tourist Industry. It shall exercise supervision over the operation of all facilities and services that cater to or have anything to do with foreign travelers and tourists with a view to ensuring the maintenance of the highest possible standards, reasonable charges, courtesy, honesty, and efficiency. In the exercise of its supervisory power over facilities and service catering to our having anything to do with foreign travelers and tourists, the board shall prescribe rules and regulation for their operation and maintenance. In case of non-compliance with such rules and regulation, it shall take the necessary steps to cancel or recommended the cancellation to the peer permits of the offending parties or their prosecution if warranted. This is the sample scenario of the Republic Act number 1478.
The structure of the travel and tourism industry is made up of several components of tourism. These components are all interrelated in one way or another. They make up the entire tourism system. There are 6 major components of tourism. Without these components, the travel and tourism industry would struggle to function. A tourist board is an essential component of tourism. A tourist board is responsible for the promotion of tourism in a particular area. This could be a city, a region, a country, or a group of countries. A tourist board is usually government funded and is usually a public travel and tourism organisation. Transport is another integral component of tourism. Without transport, people cannot reach their intended destination. There are a range of different transport types, the most common being air travel, travel by road, train travel, and travel by water. Accommodation services make up an important part of the structure of the tourism industry. Accommodation options include hotels, hostels, holiday parks and campsites, homestays, and a range of unique places to stay, such as a treehouse or a castle. Conferences and events are also an important part of the tourism industry. Conferences and events come in all shapes and sizes around the world, from a small academic gathering, to a national sporting competition, to a large-scale summit involving national leaders from around the world. Tourist attractions are another essential component of the tourism industry. There are a multitude of different tourist attractions around the world. Some are built, some are natural, some are paid, and some are free. Some are famous, others are not. Some are large, and some are small. Lastly, the tourism industry would not be complete without the many tourism services. Many people rely on tour operators to plan and put together trips. They also rely on travel agents to sell holidays. There are a range of ancillary services that provide products and services such as insurance, car hire, or airport parking. When we add together these 6 components of tourism, we have the complete tourism system.
The Third Republic Act is Republic Act number 10066, an act providing for the protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage, strengthening the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and its affiliated cultural agencies, and for other purposes. Section 14, 15, 16, and 17, Article 14 of the 1987 Constitution declare that the state shall foster the preservation and enrichment and dynamic evolution of a Filipino culture based on the principle of unity in diversity in a climate of the free artistic and intellectual expression. The Constitution likewise mandates the state of conserve, develop, promote, and popularize the nation's historical and cultural heritage and resources as well as artistic creations. It further provides that all the country, artistic, and historic wealth constitutes the cultural treasure of the nation and shall be under the protection of the states, which may regulate its disposition. The appropriate cultural agency shall closely elaborate with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization or UNESCO, National Commission of the Philippines in ensuring the conservation and management of World Heritage Sites of cultural and mixed sites category in the Philippines. All cultural property declared as important cultural property may also receive government funding for its protections, conservation, and restoration. An official heritage maker shall likewise be placed on an immovable cultural property to identify the same as important cultural property. Local government units shall document traditional and contemporary arts and crafts, including their processes and makers, and sustain the sources of the raw materials. Local government units shall encourage and sustain traditional arts and crafts as active and viable resources of income for the community. The Department of Trade and Industry, the Department of Tourism, and other government agencies involved directly or indirectly in the production of goods shall assist the local government's units in protecting their traditional and contemporary arts and crafts, making them visible for current and future markets with a view to encouraging and promoting the unique heritage and identities of said communities. And this is the third sample scenario of Republic Act number 10066.
National Cultural Heritage Act of 2009 appeared. The destruction and alteration of these important heritages and artifacts are prohibited. This law fosters the preservation and enrichment of the nation's cultural heritage, its histories and properties that aims for the coexistence of historic past with modern society to maintain Filipino identity. This law also strengthens cultural institutions to protect cultural workers, ensuring their professional development and well-being. With the help of the National Cultural Heritage Act, our Filipino identity would be persevered and be embedded always in each one of us. We may be diverse, as shown in the painting, but with everyone's uniqueness patched up together, we become one. As the background suggests, let's celebrate our cultures and histories together, everyone.
For the Fourth Republic Act is Republic Act number 4136, an act to compile the laws relatives to land transportation and traffic rules, to create a land transportation commission, and for other purposes. This act shall be known as the Land Transportation and Traffic Code. Motor vehicle shall mean any vehicle propelled by any power other than muscular power using the public highways, but excepting road rollers, trolleys, car street sweepers, sprinklers, lawn mower, bulldozer, gardeners, forklifts, amphibians, trucks, and cranes if not used on public highways, vehicles which run only on rails or trucks, and tractors, trailers, and traction engines of all kinds used exclusively for agricultural purposes. Trailers having any number of wheels when propelled or intended to be propelled by attachment to a motor vehicle shall be classified as separate motor vehicle with no power rating. There is created under the Department of Public Works and Communications an office which shall be designated and known as the Land Transportation Commission, composed of one hereafter specified. Whenever the word commissions it used in this act, it shall be deemed to mean the Land Transportation Commission, and whenever the word commissioner is used in this act, it shall be taken to mean the commissioner of deputy commissioner. The commissioner and deputy commissioner shall be natural-born citizen and resident of the Philippines, and they shall be appointed by the President of the Philippines with the consent of the Commission on Appointments of the Congress of the Philippines, provided, however, that the present administrator, assistant administrator, and the personnel of the Motor Vehicles Office shall continue in office without the necessity of reappointment. No motor vehicle shall be used or operated on or upon any public highway of the Philippines unless the same is properly registered for the current year in accordance with the provision of this Act. Any registration of motor vehicles not renewed or on or before the date fixed for different classification as provided hereunder shall become delinquent and invalid. For hire motor vehicles on or before the last working day of February. Private-owned motor vehicles from March 1 to the last working day of May. All other motor vehicles from June 1 to the last working day of June, except when the plates of such motor vehicles are returned to the Commission in Quezon City or to the Office of the Motor Vehicles Registrar in the provincial or city agency of the Commissions on or before the last working day of December of the year of issues. The Commissioner of Land Transportation shall require dealers to furnish him with such information and reports concerning the sale, importation, manufacture, and number of stocks, transfer, or other transaction affecting motor vehicles as may be necessary for the effective enforcement of the provision of this Act. To repair or change in the motor vehicle involving the exchange, elimination, effacing, or replacing of the original or registered serial or motor number as stamped or imprinted shall be allowed, and any motor vehicle with a trace of having its motor number altered or tampered with shall be refused registration or re-registration unless such is satisfactorily explained and approved by the Commissioner. This is the sample scenario of the Republic Act number 4136.
Republic Act 4136, Land Transportation and Traffic Code. Ano ang Republic Act 4136 o ang Land Transportation and Traffic Code? Nakapaloob sa RA 4136 ang mga regulasyon at batas trapiko sa bansa at ang pagbuo ng Land Transportation Office, LTO, na nagpapatupad ng mga ito.
And for the last Republic number is Republic Act number 2657, an act consisting an administrative code 1917. This act shall be known as the Administrative Code, the Government of the Philippines Islands. It is a term which refers to the corporate governmental entity through which the function of government are exercised throughout the Philippine Island, including save as the contrary appears from the context and the various arms through which political authority is made effective in said islands, whether pertaining to the central government or to the provincial or municipal branches or other form of local governments. Insular government refers to the central government as distinguished from the different form of local government. Philippine government refers to the government of the Philippine Islands. The Governor-General of the Philippines Island as Chief Executive, the Philippine Commission in the exercise of its administrative function, the several departments and bureaus of the insular government with their lawful instrumentalities, and the provincial and local governments with their subordinate functionaries, and in the exercise of the administrative powers conferred to them. Every person elected or appointed to a municipal or township office shall, before entering upon the discharge of his duty, take and subscribe an oath of office in such form as shall be prescribed by the Executive Secretary, wherein the affiant shall declare that he has the requisite qualification to hold office in the municipality, that he recognize and accept the supreme authority of the United States of America and will remain through faith and alliance thereto, that he will obey the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by its duly constituted authorities, that he will well and faithful discharge to the best of his ability the duties of the office upon which he is about to enter, or of any position to which he may thereafter be appointed, and that the obligation imposed by such oath of office is assumed by him voluntarily, without mental reservation of purpose of invasion. This is the sample scenario of Republic Act number 2657.
Legal codes. The following are the Philippine codes adopted from 1901 to the present. Act number 2657, also known as Administrative Code of 1917. Date: December 31st, 1916. Act number 2657, an act consisting an administrative code. Book 1. Organization, Powers, and General Administration of Philippine Government.